Welcome to the Devil in the Details podcast with your host, Will Nesbitt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Devil in the Details podcast, the podcast where I investigate and expose ongoing, unlawful, non-consensual human experimentation on innocent men and women in the U.S. and possibly abroad. I am one of those people victimized by this atrocity, and now I am working hard to restore justice by sharing evidence and information in hopes of prompting a proper investigation. Join me in my fight and help raise awareness by tuning in and sharing this podcast with your family and friends. Today, I want to start off with some definitions to 3 words: loyalty, devotion, faithful. Again, that's loyalty, devotion, faithful. Let's start with loyalty. A strong feeling or support of allegiance. Loyalty implies a faithfulness that is steadfast in the face of any temptation to renounce, desert, or betray. Feelings of support or duty towards someone or something. A person who feels loyalty to a nation, cause, or person feels a sense of allegiance, commitment, dedication toward them. That's loyalty. Devotion. Love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or cause. Devotion stresses zeal and service amounting to self-dedication. Loyalty and love or care for someone or something. Profound dedication, especially to religion. Earnest attachment to a cause, person, etc. An assignment or appropriation to any purpose, cause, etc. That's devotion. Faithful. Remaining loyal and steadfast. Faithful implies unswerving adherence to a person or thing, or to the oath or promise by which a tie was contracted. True to one's word, promises, vows, etc. Steady in allegiance or affection. Loyal, constant, faithful friends. Reliable, trusted, or believed. True or not changing any of the details, facts, style, etc. of the original. That is faithful. And all 3 of these definitions I got from Google, which, if you do a search, it'll pop up definitions for those. These 3 terms imply a certain level of self-sacrifice. To give up something. When you look at being loyal, being faithful, being devoted to someone or something, there are things that you have to give up. There are certain things that at certain times may cause an inconvenience. But when those inconveniences come up, you stay true to it or to them. So that's what it means to be a friend. To be in relationship with someone, whatever that relationship looks like. When we talk about having someone's back or someone having your back, that's what that means. if you call me and you're in need and you are without and I have, and if it's inconvenient to me at the time, what better way to show my loyalty than to come through for you? It's easy to do things when it's convenient for us, when I can spare that extra few dollars to help you out, when I do have some free time to be able to help you out, but what about when I don't really have the time, or you don't really have the time, or you don't really have the money, or I don't really have the money to spare like that? Then what? That's when a friendship is tested. That's when a relationship is tested. That's when you will see who is loyal. Because to withhold those things when we are or the other person is in need, then that's when fear steps in. I'm afraid if I give up this time and attention to this thing of mine and put that on you, I'm afraid I may lose something. I'm afraid if I take these last $2 that I was going to use for XYZ and give it to you, that I will lose something. That's where sacrifice comes in, self-sacrifice. Am I willing to give up something of myself to give to you, my friend, my family, my whatever? That's when you know who has your back. That's when you know who's really for you. What are you willing to sacrifice? And who are you willing to sacrifice for? And who's willing to sacrifice for you? That's something important that you need to figure out before tough times come. You have to figure out those things when times are good, so that when times are rough, you know exactly who to call. Because the worst thing you can discover is when you're in the thick of it and you're in the middle of something and everything is going wrong, and you call on someone who you thought was your friend, who you thought would be loyal, who you thought was devoted, who you thought would be faithful, and they're not. They're unwilling to sacrifice for you. And vice versa. Because you have to think about, man, who have I let down? Who have you not sacrificed for? Who were you not devoted to? Who were you disloyal to? Like I said, those are things you have to ask yourself when things are good, as opposed to waiting until the shit hits the fan and then you're left scrambling. It's best to know who has your back. Who has your back? When it comes to the people in your life, and if you think about it, who can you depend on to be there when times get rough, when things get really bad, who picks you up when you're low, when you're just in a bad place, and will stand with you through those storms? Whoever these people are, I urge you to appreciate and do right by these people while you have them. Because those people are very rare in your life. You won't have many people that will do that. Everybody's around when you're up, things are good, when you're succeeding. But when you're failing, and when you're low, and when everything's stacked against you, whoever's left to help you pick up those pieces, that's the real one. Loyalty and devotion. Faithfulness. These are the basic foundations of any relationship, whether they be intimate, friendship, family, business, or any other organization. These traits provide the consistency necessary for trust. We want people around us who we know will stay the same, whether times are good or bad. This lets us know whether someone is a friend or entertainment. See, entertainment is there to make us and those around us feel good. We laugh, we hang out, eat together, take trips, always doing something fun, just having a ball. But when there's nothing to do, when boredom sets in, when real life situations happen and get in the way of the fun, when there's a need on either side, then whoever is left, whoever is there to help with the load, that's the friend. Everyone else is just entertainment. Real friends, true friends, faithful friends, those are the people that you want to cultivate in your life. And like I said, there will be few. There will be few. But you want to cultivate those people and appreciate them and do right by them. And be the person to them that you want them to be to you. We want people who see and believe the best in us and who help to bring out the best of us when we are at our worst. When not just when life intrudes upon us and, situations happen that just beat down on us, but also when we're a mess towards others, when we're wrong, when we're causing problems, when we're wreaking havoc, someone that can speak life and speak truth into you to settle you down and correct you. That's an important thing. Correction. Not only having someone that can correct us, but also being willing to be corrected. And it takes some experience and some real soul searching to be able to know the difference between correction and someone just talking out of the side of their neck. What's disappointing is when you've been that type of person for others or for someone, but when it gets hard, and when trouble comes and you're in need, they are nowhere to be found. You know, you're there when they need you, but they're not there when you need them. Those are the people that you can tell whether they're entertainment or not. Which is why a lot of people, including myself, tend to not really burden people with our problems. Because more than likely, you, like me, have had an experience or experiences where you've reached out to people that you thought that you could depend on to help you, and they fell short. You know, they just didn't respond to your cry for help. They let you down. And so you just decided, you know what? Whatever. And you learn to be self-sufficient in that. But it's best to not be in that position. You know, it's best to have someone there that you can depend on. And, you know, it's, you have to wonder, man, who can that be? You know, where do you find these people? And I wish I had answers for you. I wish I did. But the important thing is that you don't let it harden you to the point where you become that type of person. You have to be careful to not be so closed off that you're unwilling to help others because no one helped you. You know. Now, that's not to say for you to be a doormat and to always give when it's not reciprocated. You just have to, you know, pick your battles on that, you know, because certain people should no longer have access to you, right? They shouldn't. But you just have to be, I don't know, exercise your judgment and just don't become cruel to the point where you're like, well, F you, you know, I'm not gonna help you, especially if it's a serious need. Now, if it's something that is not just devastatingly serious, then yeah, I'd probably just be like, whatever, go on about your business. But just, you know, don't become them. Be the better person. Not the bigger person, but the better person. And not because it's the good Christian thing to do, but to keep your name and your spirit intact. Okay? To keep your name and your spirit intact, because once you start playing that game of, you know, mistreating people deliberately because they mistreated you, then you take on their spirit. And that's a hard thing to do. I still struggle with that. I do, you know. But it's still something that you have to work at. And it may take a lifetime to get beyond it. A more important question is, whose back do you have? Who do you always show up for? Are you a friend, or are you just entertainment? These are important questions that you have to ask yourself, because having good people in your life is what makes life that much more fulfilling and that much better for you and for the people in your life. Because I believe that you'll tend to draw other people in and you teach them. You know, you become a leader in a sense because that's so rare for people to be that way, for people to remain steadfast when others are going through something. Because it's so rare, people will look to you to be that source of inspiration for when it's their time to be that way for someone else or for you. You'll inspire others. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Loyalty, devotion, faithfulness. Those are traits that you want to cultivate and always exercise in dealing with the people in your life. Be good to people and always choose to keep those people that are good to you, keep them happy, because they don't come around too often. So if you like this podcast, please leave a comment, please share it, and join me for the next episode. And also join me for my upcoming live talks and some other things that I have planned as well. Please visit my social media pages. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, or X now. And all of my links are located in my link tree, which you'll find in this video and also in the description below. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Peace.